Shalom to you all. It's so good to be together in the sanctuary. I don't remember when was the last time we were all here together for an Erev Shabbat service. March 2020, okay, thank you. So, March 2020, and Shabbat Shalom to you who are watching us online on Zoom, Twitter, and Facebook. So tonight we have a special, all Shabbats are special, to be honest with you. So we are going to light the Shabbat candles on page 69, and I'd like to invite Louisa, who has a birthday today, to light the candles in honor of her birthday. So on page 69.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Happy is the people by whom the Sabbath is sanctified. Happy are those who rejoice in its blessing, for it comes with the message of God's abiding love as one who brings good tidings and publishes peace. On page 70. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Nariya, nariya, letzu yishenu nekadma pfanav betodah. Nariya, nariya, letzu rishenu, bismirot nariya lo. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Page 71. Shiru l'Adonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru l'Adonai, Kol ha'aretz. Sing a new song to the Eternal One. Sing to a Creator, all the earth. Shiru l'Adonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru l'Adonai, Kol ha'aretz. Shiru l'Adonai, Baruchu Shemo, Basru miyom leyom, Yeshuato, Safru v'goyim kevodo, Bechol ha'amim niflotav, Ki gadol Adonai, ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. Please turn to page 76. Setchem le shalom מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. So I wanted to greet our friends who are now online with us, and I can see that my cousin Agnes is online from Strasbourg. So hello Agnes, Shabbat Shalom. Deborah, that's great, with Facebook, people all over the world can join us. Deborah from Bradford, Shabbat Shalom, Deborah. Daniel, John Bates as well. It's Dan, actually. Anna, I'm also online, good. Sibyl, gosh, who's this guy? René Pfertzel, okay, that's me, yeah. Sibyl, Shabbat Shalom to you. Jill, Norman, and Joyce, it's good to have you with us tonight. And David Melech from Lyon, Shabbat Shalom. So it's becoming a very international community now. Huh? So we are now going to Lecha Dodi on page 91. Sorry. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shamor וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. lecha dodi לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. lecha dodi לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה, לראש מקדם לסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. lecha dodi לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. lecha dodi לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לקרא אבוררי תוסרי כי
4 or 5 really.
sorry, I'm sorry, yeah. Yeah, this is that's a thing, I'm sorry. Okay. We start. Yeah, thank you. Let's go, you're right. Thank you, Shimon.
Doing the bride?
Itoreri.
No, we're not doing the bride yet. Okay, no bride yet.
Not right yet. No, we do Itoreri now. Itoreri, ki ba'orer kumi uri shir daberi, kevod Adonai alayich niglat. lecha dodi לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. lecha dodi לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. So at this point of the lecha dodi, usually we stand, we turn towards the door, and we will welcome the Shabbat bride. So I don't know if you want to do it or not. That's a traditional way to, and it also helps you to stretch a bit. So if you want to stand and to turn, please do it. בואי ושלום עטרת בלה, גם בשמחה ובצונה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. lecha dodi לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. lecha dodi לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. Page 92, for Baruch Hu. You can remain standing. Shall I? Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. Please be seated. We praise you, Eternal One, our God, sovereign of the universe, whose word brings on the evening, whose wisdom opens heaven's gates, whose understanding changes times and seasons, and whose will set the stars in their courses in the sky. You make day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light. You make day pass on being on the night and separate day from night. You rule the host of heaven. We praise you, O God, whose word makes evening fall. Avat Olam Beit Yisrael Amecha Aveta Amcha Aveta אותנו לימדת, על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגה יומם ולילה, נגה יומם ולילה. ואהבת אל תעשו ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל. On page 94, please stand. ישראל אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשורבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Please be seated. Shimon, can I ask you to distribute these sheets one per person? It's for the Amida later. Thank you. All this we hold to be true and sure. You alone, eternal one, are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You have freed us from oppressors and delivered us from tyrants. You led us out of Egypt forever to serve you in freedom. When we witness your power, we praise your name and gave thanks. Willingly, we accept your rule. Then, full of joy, we sang together. מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש נורם תהילות אוסף אלי נורא תהילות אוסף אלי אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Grant, eternal God, that we may lie down in peace, and let us rise up to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your wise counsel, and for your name's sake be our help. Shield us from sickness and war, from famine and distress, and keep us from wrongdoing. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you are our guardian and deliverer. A gracious and merciful God, guard our going out and coming in, that now and always we may have life and peace. We praise you, O God. May you shelter in peace descend on us and all who dwell on earth. So please stand for the Amidah, and we are going to use the Magen Avot Ve'Imaot version, which is the one that Shimon gave you. Hand her over. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'emoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Anora, El Elyon, Koneh Shamayim va'aretz, Magen Avot ve'Imaot bidvaro, Mechaye Hakol b'ma'amaro, Ha'el Hakadosh she'ein kamohu, המניח לעמו ביום שבת קודשו, כי בם רצה להניח להם לפניו נעבוד ביראה ופחד. ונודה לשמו בכל יום תמיד, מעון הברכות, אל ההודעות, אדון השלום, מקדש השבת, ומברך שביעי, ומניח בקדושם לעם בדושני עונג, זכר למעשה וראשית. Blessed are you, eternal, our God, and God of those who came before us, God of Abraham, God of Isaac, God of Jacob, God of Sarah, God of Rebecca, God of Rachel, and God of Leah, great, mighty, and revered God, God transcendent, maker of heaven and earth. With a word, you shield our ancestors. With a phrase, you give all things life. Sacred God, beyond compare, who took joy in providing rest for your people on your holy Shabbat day. We will serve you reverently, acknowledging on each and every day forever just who you are, the one to whom blessing goes, the one to whom thanksgiving is due. source of peace, who recalls the time of creation by sanctifying Shabbat, blessing the seventh day, and in holiness granting rest to a people overflowing with joy. Please be seated and take a few moments for private prayer and meditation. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, and my rock and my redeemer. Okay, Shabbat Shalom to you all. So tonight we have a special guest. We have KLS member Andrée Frieze, who is going to talk about London Climate Action Week. Around this theme. So over to you.
There we go. Nearly got my mask completely caught up in my earrings. It's lovely to see everyone here tonight. Sorry, I just had a bit of a moment. My mother, as many of you know, my mum passed away from COVID back in April last year, and her name is up on the leaf, and being back in here has just brought emotions to the fore, so forgive me. I'm a little bit, so if I've got mascara down my face, I apologise. I am here to talk not necessarily about Climate Action Week. To be honest, I kind of forgot that was the theme. I sort of went for an eco theme generally and sort of looking forward a bit more to the end of the year. So thank you for asking me to talk here tonight. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name's Andrée. I'm a Green Party councillor in Richmond, and I currently work for the Green Assembly members at City Hall up in London. So I've been a member here at KLS since 2012, which is the same year I joined the Green Party. I haven't always been a politician. I had a life before then. But in many ways, my Jewish journey and my path as a climate activist and becoming a councillor are very intertwined. So there's a little bit of background to who I am and why I'm here. So I remember sitting in the mosaic room one day, some years ago, while my sons, Shabbat morning, while my sons were at Be'etenu, and flicking through all the liberal Jewish leaflets I'm not sure if we still have them out there, but we certainly did for quite a while. And I remember reading the one on the environment and realising how similar the views expressed in that are to the Green parties. They both put great value on coexistence with nature, respect for animals, and recognising that we are guardians. We're not masters, we're not the owners of this planet. We are here just to share it with other animals and other species. And in those since 2012, when I joined KLS, when I joined the Green Party, my life has changed a lot. I also changed careers during that time, and I stopped being a journalist, which I had been for something like 20 years in the homes and interiors industry. Spent a lot of time telling people to buy stuff they didn't need. And so I sort of had a bit of a crisis of conscience around that time and decided to leave being a journalist, and ended up slowly moving my way into the environmental sector, starting off with a small charity in Hampton Wick called Jivika Trust, which helps women in India. And then from there I moved to Eco Synagogue, which is partly what I'm here to talk to you about tonight. So Eco Synagogue is a cross-communal organisation. It was founded by Rabbi Jonathan Wittenberg, from Masorti Judaism, and it's now supported by the Board of Deputies. Eco Synagogue provides shuls with an environmental audit that enables them to reduce their carbon footprint in response to the climate crisis. Some of you will know about Eco Synagogue because KLS joined it back in 2019, and some of you were members of that group, and we started working on our own environmental audit, including we held something called the Green Shabbat. I'll talk a little bit more about that later, on 5th of July that year. And we also took part in the first green-themed mitzvah day, which we did a litter pick, and I know I can see some of you, Mary and I were out litter picking over there. Yeah, we sort of won.
We were nominees.
We were nominees, yes. So not that it's about winning, obviously, but it's nice to be recognised. I think we collected coats as well, didn't we? That was your thing. We collected.
We did collect coats as well.
Yeah.
That was the bundle thing.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of tied in. So that was the first green themed one that they'd done. So that was good to be part of that. So that's what. But of course, things, as we all know, have been put on hold for quite some time now. But they're sort of as we hopefully move out of this current situation, that's what Eco Synagogue is sort of starting back up again, and that's why I'm slightly here to talk to you about that tonight, because at a KLS level, at a national level, we're trying to move things on in that path again. I don't work for them anymore. I'm actually a member of the Liberal Judaism National Eco Group, which was set up by Rabbi Tanya Sarknovich. Sorry, so many names. Tanya was the rabbi of Nottingham. She's moving to Elstree. That's it. And Gabriel Webber is going up to Nottingham for a year. So the KLS connection just continues all the time. And Tanya has brought a group of people together from different synagogues across the country, from liberal Jewish synagogues from across the country, to try and provide a steering group, provide a direction for everyone to pick up Eco Synagogue again and start moving on a journey to becoming less carbon intensive or consuming less, and just being a little bit more aware of what we need to do to take action over the climate. And the reason why I want to talk about tonight was because this is a really pivotal year, because something called COP26 is happening this year in November. COP26, I know a lot of us have heard of it, but not everyone knows what it is, which is not surprising, because why would you? COP26 stands for Conference of Parties. And it's the decision-making body responsible for monitoring and reviewing the implementation of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Basically, it is the organisation that is set up post the Paris Agreement, which I'll go on to in a bit, to bring global warming down, or to stop it going beyond 1.5 degrees. Because if our planet warms up beyond 1.5 degrees, it's not going to be great. I'm sure many of you will remember the massive fires in Australia at the end of 2019 and 2020. The destruction there is beyond anything that we can imagine. The destruction, and we're watching, Shamar and I last night were watching the latest David Attenborough, and looking at the destruction of the coral reef, the Great Barrier Reef, and how global warming has caused all the coral, half the coral to bleach there. And the impacts, we are now seeing them. And the problem is we only have until the end of this decade, 2030, we have less than 10 years now to stop global warming becoming something that we can't stop. And that's why it's really important that this year that COP26 is happening, that it's here in the UK, and that we have a chance as a community, as individuals, as part of whatever organisation we're part of, to put pressure on those decision makers. So that's why it's important. The conference has two sides to it. There's a very formal side where delegates consisting of climate experts, the campaigners, the policymakers and world leaders debate on how to make global progress on climate change. And then there's the side events for hundreds of thousands of people. I don't know if they'll all be there this year because of the pandemic, but, you know, one can hope. And they'll be there to keep an eye on our national leaders, because agreements get made, we all know that, policies get promised, actions are told they're going to happen, but then nobody holds them to it. And this is possibly the last opportunity we have to really take action globally to stop runaway global warming. I mean, that's what someone like Greta Thunberg, 2019 was the year that there was something come out called, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. There's all these long names. The IPCC, which produced a special report which said that human-caused emissions of carbon dioxide need to fall by about 45% from 2010 levels by 2030. And that was the report that galvanised the Extinction Rebellion actions in 2019, the ones that stopped London. It was the report that galvanised Greta Thunberg. That was what when she read that, she said, I can't sit in school anymore, learning all this stuff. What's the point? The planet as we know it may not be here in 10 years' time. So she started the climate strikes, for Fridays for Climate Strikes, and that became a national thing. But she said just last year, we are still speeding in the wrong direction. The 5 years following the Paris Agreement have been the hottest 5 years ever recorded. And during that time, the world has emitted more than 200 billion tonnes of carbon dioxide. So this year, Eco Synagogue, where we are now, we have an opportunity. This is our chance as a Jewish community to come together and to take action and demand serious and swift action of moving the UK towards a zero carbon future. COP26 is the first meeting of the world's climate leaders in the wake of COVID-19. The pandemic has shown once again that when crisis hits, it's the vulnerable and the most marginalised people who are worst affected, and inequality is exacerbated. So this time there can't be a return to business as usual. We need to ensure that the recovery that we have from the crisis is both green and just for everyone. So faith groups like ourselves have a powerful responsibility to take action because it affects humanity at the deepest level, pushing us to ask profound questions about our relationship with the living world. And Judaism, as René will know, has much to say about that. In an article in a recent edition of a magazine I get called Resurgence, an ecologist, Jonathan Schorsch, professor of Jewish religious and intellectual history at the University of Potsdam, wrote about something, he's started something called the Green Sabbath Project, which he has founded. It's a little bit different from the Green Sabbath we did before. And in it, he reminds us that the rabbis of the Talmudic era, they forged Shabbat, they created Shabbat as a ritualized palace in time, the main theme of which was to avoid manipulating nature for one day a week. He writes, in the biblical text, we are told that this commandment to cease from working is not only a spiritual matter. Sabbath rest is not just required because God wants it. It is not merely beneficial to humans. The world needs its rest. The trans-species community of living beings, work animals, for example, cannot be pressed constantly. The social hierarchy, whose differentiation between those at the top and those at the bottom results from human behaviour, cannot survive endless demands. The Bible connects the weekly Sabbath to the 7-year cycle of the sabbatical year, regarding which we are told explicitly that the land itself desires to rest. In certain respect, the cultural system acknowledges that the natural world has a voice and that we are not free to ignore it. And that is such a powerful statement to me. The natural world has a voice. We are not free to ignore it. So I'm speaking here today to ask you all to heed that voice, and as a movement to raise our own voices on nature's behalf, to take action in this year of COP26, to push the world's leaders to take urgent action on the climate crisis that is needed. And there are two specific actions that we can get involved in during the run-up to COP26, because it's all about getting people involved and doing stuff, hopefully, online, not just online, together, face-to-face, maybe a bit closer together. So one is the Great Big Green Week, which takes place in September, which happens to coincide with Sukkot, so it's the 18th and 26th of September. And it's a great way for the community to come together, put on an event alongside thousands of others across the country. The point is, lots of people from different organisations are going to be doing the same thing, and it's that, going back to the sort of civic action thing, that the more people who do something, the more our leaders have to listen to us. So I was wondering whether maybe we could even look at doing an inter-community event, like we did back in February. We had the south of the river synagogues question time. It'd be really good to try and maybe do something with the synagogues in South London, in our area, and try and maybe pull everyone together and show that as a community that we really care and that we want action taken. The other thing is Liberal Judaism is planning another Green Shabbat. That's happening in November. I'm sure René will hear about that and pass that through, but I will also pass that through. I don't know the details yet because, of course, these things take time to prepare. And let's not forget Mitzvah Day, which we've taken part in for the last 3 years now. And the plan, that's happening on 21st November. And we're going to be doing an interfaith community planting of trees, which, of course, the more trees you plant, the better it is, because they soak up all that horrible carbon dioxide. So there's lots to bring us together as a community to make our voices heard and to share the importance of taking action on the climate urgently. So thank you very much for listening to me, and Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Andrée. It was interesting. Would be just taking some distance, but with it was interesting. Thank you for your talk. What I mean, I really want carers to be involved in that. But I think it's very important. The Green Week in Sukkot, it's perfect because Sukkot is exactly the right place to do that. And so we can involve Beiteinu, the Kabbalah Torah class, and it's all about raising awareness. Because there are many other civilizations which have a much more harmonious relationship with nature, which we absolutely don't have. I mean, we don't care in a way. The civilization, our modern world, the Western / capitalist industrial world doesn't care about that. And other civilizations do. So maybe we need a shift in civilization, and we'll do our best as a community, and we will talk about it. So a way to really mark it and to make something interesting. Thank you. So, right. So before we finish our service, a few announcements. So there is a Shabbat morning service from the synagogue tomorrow. And without Rebecca, unfortunately, so we love your playing, but tomorrow you have your students. You have
doing my student concert.
Student concert, so fair enough. So you have to do that with them as well. Next Shabbat there is a bar mitzvah. Zach Scheib is doing his bar mitzvah, and during the I don't remember. Let me have a look. Yeah, I can use my phone.
You're never going to get over that.
No, never. Yeah, I keep complaining about people using the iPhone, and actually I'm very bad. So the usual classes, Hebrew, a lot of Hebrew, Exploring Judaism, Torah study lunch we have on Friday, which is a very nice class. I mean,
it's really good.
Yeah, so we study a text from the weekly parsha in Hebrew, we translate it. I mean, if your Hebrew is not great, it's not the end of the world, it doesn't matter, because there are many levels in this group, and we talk about the text, and it's very interesting. I really enjoy it.
Never go off track, ever.
I don't even understand what off track means, to be honest with you. I don't know what you're talking about.
Everyone else gets what I mean, I think.
Yeah. Okay, and so for the rest, just have a look at the newsletter that Craig is religiously putting together every week, and it's a very good one. Okay, so we are going to finish our service now with "And Then," which is on page 213. passion will be wedded to power. And when softness will come to a world that is harshened and kind, and when men and women will be gentle, and when both women and men will be strong, and when no person will be subject to another's will, and then all will be rich and free and varied, and then the greed of some will give way to the needs of many, and then all will share equally in the earth's abundance, and then all will care for the sick and the weak and the old, and then and then honor life's creatures, and then all will live in harmony with each other and the world, and then all everywhere will be called hidden once again. Right, I really need to practice that. Gosh, sorry, I've got, how do you say it?
A frog in the throat.
A frog, yeah. So in France we have a cat in the throat. What do you have in Germany? A frog as well. Sorry? It's disgusting. I don't like it. Right, so there is no yahrzeit this week, but we are going to say the Kaddish. First for your mom, Andrée. It's the first time you come here on a service, and I mean, the neighbor, my mom is there as well, so they're probably chatting with each other on the tree. And do you have any name you would like to name before we say the Kaddish? Okay, so for all of those, we have no one to say the Kaddish tonight, so we're going to say it together. It's on page 524. Please rise. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם לעלמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבר ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה בריחו. לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תוש בחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל בני אדם ואמרו אמן. Please be seated. We finish with Ma Yafe Hayom. It's very easy. Ma Yafe Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. How beautiful is this day? Shabbat Shalom. Pashut. Ma Yafe Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafe Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma yafe hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma yafe hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Please stand. מי ששיקן את שמו בבית הזה, הוא ישכין ביניכם ahava ve'achava ve'shalom ve'reut. May the one whose presence dwells in this synagogue and in your homes cause love and harmony, peace and friendship to dwell among us. Adonai oz le'amo yiten. Eternal God, grant strength to people. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Eternal God, bless your people with peace. And let us say, Amen. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom to you all.